I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me, but I just wanted to elaborate. I feel like what I'm hearing from Mr. Stultz is that we're leaving the door open for more months of this, and we've already been dealing with it for 11 months. We're waiting now for this side-by-side comparison till next month, right? I'm anticipating they're going to come back with all kinds of reasons that it's not possible because of the adverse health effects that might come along with removing it. I'd like to propose that these environmental experts that we have hired prepare concurrently, while they're preparing their side-by-side comparison, documentation supporting that it is perfectly, documentation to put right there and have ammunition right in front of their face so that they can't say, we can't do it because it's going to cause more health risks.
There's no health risk.
You know, let's be proactive so we can avoid another month getting that report together. It's clear that's what Governor Christie said on the radio. Get ready and have ammunition against them. That's what they're going to come back and say. You know, if we have the money, I think that's great. That's a great thing. You guys looked into that. That's a great resolution for the money. But as far as their argument's going to be, it's not possible because of the health hazards involved with, aggravating the pile of crap. Let's get prepared and have that professional report. Let's not wait till later.
Hold on, this extra conversation and out of respect for what's...
I just think we are doing pieces of what you're suggesting. That was why we brought in the experts, the doctors.
I don't want to wait until that side-by-side comparison is on the table for our experts to rebut it.
Yeah, and I don't think we are. I think we are anticipating exactly what you're saying. I mean, we've anticipated that money was going to be an issue. We've searched out to find the top experts in this area of H2S, and we found them.
Are they going to be there evaluating the side-by-side comparison that day?
We asked them to be very involved as soon as this came out to look at all our professionals and them.
That's key.
No, we've already taken care of that.
I don't know if anybody said this, but the two experts, the two doctors that are the experts in H2S, their immediate reaction was that the first thing that has to occur, the very first thing, is they need to get a handle on reducing the admissions, and that's the temporary solution, and the permanent, and then the scrub, so that they can take care of the whole site. And they said that is the very first thing we've got to do, because obviously to them, their concern is the health impacts from the H2S. Because you all know this, and we all know this, is that there are really no long-term studies on the effects of H2S. I mean, these doctors know that at low levels, adults and children are affected. They know that children are affected more severely at lower levels than adults. But there are no long-term studies on this stuff. So their main concern to us was to, whatever can be done to speed the process of eliminating the odors, needs to be a top priority. And while we're doing that, we'll also have our experts looking at some of these other areas, anticipating what the response from the state is going to be. So, I think we're moving in the right direction. It may not be going at lightning speed, but this is a complicated issue, and I don't want to make any mistakes.
I understand. I think that as a community, we hear the plan and addressing the gases immediately firsthand is important. Bringing the scrubber in and the thermal oxidizer will hopefully do that, this custom-made big jalopy that's coming in. But I think that what our concern is that we haven't gotten one validation or affirmation from the DEP that their forget long-term immediate plan. We haven't gotten one affirmation that their long-term plan is not leaving that scrubber in and having some other third company coming to operate it for the next 20 years. And they haven't addressed who's going to be paying for that. And our fear is that there's going to be some third party running it and have to start reopen it and have an active landfill to support the finances to support this monstrosity. That's where we're coming from. And that's one of those questions that that stinking DEP line will not respond to.
That is a very, very valid concern and a valid issue. And that's one of the main issues that this council has been hammering home at with the DEP to get them to start to give us the information to address those issues. Because, but they haven't, and, you know, it's been a nightmare trying to get anything out of them. I mean, I'm amazed we've come as far as we have, to be quite honest with you, because a lot of times they will clam up and you will get nothing. So, you know, I think there's been an awful lot of pressure placed on them, thanks to everyone here in this room, and from the council, and from the elected officials that have been involved in this case. And I think that has helped to open the door a little bit. But I think it's got to continue, and I think we have to be smart in the way we go about extracting that information.
It's hard to be patient when you've been going to sleep for 11 months, not knowing if you're going to wake up in your bedroom suffocating.
And I'll share with you the one question that was asked of our experts on this is, can a report be produced that doesn't show a long-term operational plan? And we were answered, no, they've got to have a long-term operational plan on it. So that has to be part of the closure plan and the options that we're looking at. They have to provide that information. And our experts will have to look at that. But in essence, our experts, we've already given them the task of what's the alternates? What's the alternatives? Because we're hoping that the DEP really provides a good side-by-side review without a whole lot of hurdles. But we have to be prepared, exactly as you said, what are the alternatives? But we don't have the report to address what their numerous conditions may be, or numerous concerns may be on that.
I think it's admirable that you're looking for FEMA funds, but I think they're going to come back with that health issue. So I just implore you to have something prepared so this doesn't have to go on another month and another month. Because that's what they're going to come back with. They're going to say, oh, but it's a health problem.
Okay, hold on just 1 second, please. Mrs. Oshak, to that point.
In my mind, the reason the DEP is not telling us what the long-term plan is because they don't have one.
That's not acceptable.
Well, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to force them to do that. What we are doing is asking a lot of questions. We ask for the side-by-side thing. Maybe a light bulb went off in somebody's head down there and said, hey, that's a good idea. We don't know that. But this is going to force them to think about the alternative, which is something they weren't doing or not doing by themselves right now. So these questions that we're putting out there, the resolutions we're throwing at them, this is starting to make them think, what are we going to do with it? I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think they know. There's no point.
You know, everything takes time in politics and with the government. And you say, you know, even with the bill being passed, oh, this is so fast, this is so fast. When you're living this, it's not fast at all.
We had the governor on the
That's
radio
all I got.
saying that this stuff wasn't going to be moved out. He said that on the radio.
I know, that's why.
Hopefully he's changing his mind.
Kathy, you have a point.